So, welcome
Right.
back to Moving Forward. Hanging
Hey,
um, I am Chynel with Chapter 28 Beauty.
I am Ronai with Anomaly, the agency, and we have a special guest. I've known him for pretty much my whole young and adult life. Very dope. So we have Komar on with us. So welcome. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on here. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. So I guess to kind of jump right into it, so this episode is hanging with Kangan or Kangan. We realize, it's a potato type of thing. But we wanted to really focus this episode on, we talk about health and, things of that nature. And, Komar he really knows a lot about Kangan water. And so we just decided to have him on so he could tell us a little bit more about that. I guess to start off, what made you interested in making that transition from regular water to kind of doing that research and changing how you drink?
Well, let's see. I first bought my machine back in 2017, and I had a friend on Facebook. His name's Darren Fryer. He's a super cool guy. He's from Maui, Hawaii, and that's when I first started getting put onto the water. And I started off in network marketing, so you really get connected with all of these groups of people and everything like that. But initially, I didn't necessarily get started for the network marketing purpose. If you're familiar with the company Enagic at all, they do have a direct sales program that goes with the whenever you buy a machine, you become a distributor and everything. But just disclaimer, I'm not trying to sell you guys a Conga machine or anything like that. I just want to, tell you guys all about the health benefits. So Darren, he kind of he's watching all the videos and seeing all the health benefits and the comparisons of the water. It just really made me realize that, number one, we're 70% water. It's the first line of defense for if you're going to put something healthy into your body, why not just start with the water? So it just made so much sense. Body 70% water, brain 70% water. It's just one of the most important, aspects of health in general. I've been a plant-based eater for about 6 years, going on 7 years now. So it's just always been in that realm of, everything that I can do in order to be healthier myself and, also for my family as well. So that's how I kind of got started into the Kangan water.
Okay. Definitely dope. That's absolutely dope. Chynel, you just started with the plant-based recently.
I did. So congratulations to your 7th year of being plant-based. This is your lifestyle. So,
yeah.
I'm out the street with plant-based. You are serious.
Yeah, it was, you kind of just, once you get into it, I don't know. For me, it was just a no-brainer. Or it was kind of like a weird situation of how I got started into it. But once I went into it, I was just it just made sense to just keep on doing it.
Well, let's talk about the weird situation on you going into plant-based.
So plant-based, I was just one day I was just, you started back, let's see, this was end of 2016, maybe. Yeah. So, I just started hearing everything about, people eating plant-based, going vegan, stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I think I might try going vegan. And one of the things that I thought to myself that really made me make the jump, it was it sounds so crazy, but I tell people the story all the time. I just thought to myself, if I was the first person on the planet, would I try to go run up on a cow and eat it? And I was like, I probably wouldn't do that. So ever since then, I was just it didn't make sense. So then, I asked myself, would I run up on a flock of chickens and, try to get a chicken? And I'm like, I probably wouldn't do that either. So from that moment forward, I just decided eating meat is probably not the way for me. I was whenever I thought about the natural form of the body, the tools that we have available just based on our bodies, whenever you look at every other animal in nature, they use the tools that they have mostly on their body. You know what I mean? So, you have birds that, they smash nuts on rocks in order to, crack them open and stuff like that. But for the most part, they're just using their natural form. Lions, whenever they're hunting, they got really sharp claws or super, sharp teeth in order to tear flesh and stuff like that. So those are just the things that I thought about whenever I thought of, what is it that my body was actually designed to be eating.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? I like that. I like that because I was vegan/vegetarian for like 2 years, and then I fell off for a little bit, and like now I'm starting to get more back into that as well. So I've been buying a lot more plant-based foods, you know what I mean? Like really just changing my diet up again. But also not rushing into it because I find that if I'm slowing myself into it, it's kind of working a little bit better for me. But I like that perspective because you don't think about that. You know what I mean? Like if we just stuck with utilizing the tools that we had, I think everybody's eating habits obviously would be so different. You know what I mean? So to think of it from that perspective, I think that's dope. You know what I mean? I don't think a lot of people think about it from in that way, because for me, like, even though I eat, chicken and, stuff like that, I could never think about hunting animals, period. You know what I mean? So I had somebody even say to me one time, okay, so you wouldn't hunt it, but you'll eat it. And I'm just like, oh my God, like that sounds hard. You know what I mean? Like that sounds horrible. And like there's a lot of things I won't eat. I'm definitely not a hunter or anything like that. But even something as quote unquote simple as chicken, it's such a staple, especially in Spanish and Black households. You know what I mean? So it's so easy to think like, okay, well, this is what I was raised on. You know what I mean? Like this is just the norm. But when you step back and you really think about it, like I'm not about to be out here, TMI, but snapping chickens necks. Like if you really think about the process to get food on the table with the chicken, it's gruesome, it's horrible. And I remember reading this book with my aunt, and it was called Skinny Bitch. And it was basically these two women that decided to go vegan, and they really went into detail about like slaughtering animals and stuff like that. And we read it, and my aunt and was just like, no, we're not doing this. And like I said, I kept it up for 2 years. I felt good. You know what I mean? I felt really good in a lot of ways. I think the only reason I fell off, I think now we have more options. Or maybe I just wasn't looking in the right places. You know what I mean? That was before I even moved to Houston. And I remember once I moved back in 2012, 2013, I had to change my diet because now I was living on my own, and then I was, stepping my cooking game up. So it just totally changed the game for me. But now you go into the stores and you do see a lot of these like really great options. And, we have these online services. I follow Fruits and Roots on Instagram. I don't know if you guys follow him.
Yeah. He does a lot of good work. He does a lot of good. I'm actually about to buy one of his mango boxes right now. They're building in Ghana, and my nephews, as you know, they live in Ghana, so I want to help out over there. So
yes, and so I always see them, and I love following their stuff because I'm like, I'm such a fruit person. I love fruits and vegetables, absolutely. I've never been one of those kids that hated broccoli or anything. That was never my thing. But I just see all of this fresh fruit, and even like the avocados, you know what I mean, just are totally different from what we're getting in the market. So there's just really, you see, and maybe that's the Mexican thing.
Me too.
But now I'm like, I can do avocado on toast. I can do, mix avocado into something, but I don't know. I won't ever eat avocado just like a plain avocado or anything.
Really? See, I'm such a, like that might be like really the Mexican in me for real, because that's what we do. But
that's a Spanish side for sure.
Yeah. You throw a little salt and pepper on that John, and boom, that's it. Cut it up.
It's interesting because when you said that we were going to have him on, I was super excited. I was introduced to Kangan, however you pronounce it, water a couple months ago. And that actually, now that I think about it, is what started me on my health journey as far as switching things that switching how I was going to eat, and then also going on to like the sea moss and stuff. I just knew I was going to have to change my diet to really see results and get the full benefits, because like the guy who was explaining to me about the Kangan water, he was just saying like, if you're going to drink soda, there's no point in drinking Kangan water. So like you're defeating the purpose here. You're working harder, not smarter. And I'm not a soda drinker, but just that alone, I was just like, okay, I understand. So, I definitely want you to break down as much as you can about the Kangan water. I'm sure I don't have all the information, but I had enough to spread the word about Kangan. And then one of the biggest things I wanted to ask you was, why should anybody choose Kangen over spring? Because we had a guest on here and she was saying, she referenced the spring water being the most pure water. Why would you want to put anything in it or electrolyze it or whatever in order to get benefits? So the floor is yours. I don't have any other questions. I'm just ready to hear all the benefits all over again.
Let's get it.
So the three major things that I want to talk about when it comes to Kangan water, one of them is pH. A lot of people, they're, looking into alkaline water, alkalized water. We'll talk about the difference between the two of those. Microclustering, I think you guys mentioned that a little bit in the that vlog that you guys were talking about. And then antioxidants. And we'll start out with the pH. I'm going to get my little kit together for you guys, and we'll just go explore the different kinds of pH whenever it comes to the different kinds of water. So just give me one. I'm going to just go through the pHs of all of these different standard bottles of water. Dasani, Aquafina. This is going to be the standard spring water. I got this one specifically just because it was one of the spring water that your friend mentioned. Last one. And then we got smart water. I drink smart water every now and then whenever I'm out on the go and I don't have any Kangen water. And then you got Essentia. And then of course, you have your Kangen water. And then I'm just gonna pour some tap water right out of the tap. And that's gonna be this one right here at the end.
Okay.
And let me just crack them open. You guys can see that we're doing fresh bottles.
Live presentation, people. Pay attention to detail.
Yes.
We all got one of these waters sitting up in our refrigerator at some point throughout the month.
Yeah, right. Aquafina used to be my go-to all the time. Before Kangan water, if I wasn't drinking Aquafina, I wasn't really drinking water at all.
Wow.
And that was part of the reason why, it took me a while to actually buy the Kangen machine. It's definitely an investment that you have to make. But it took me a while, and what really made me actually, decide to make the purchase was because I realized that I wasn't really drinking much water at the time because of all of the the contaminants and stuff like that, just in tap water, the, particulates of plastic that are, in bottles of water, just because most of these bottles of water, they're, sitting over a long periods of time in warehouse storage, stuff like that. All right, so we'll just go down the line. We'll start out with tap water.
So right here, you're putting the pH drops in the water, right?
Yeah, these are pH drops.
Okay. And anybody can purchase pH drops.
Anybody can purchase pH drops, yeah, for sure. So you see, and we'll go back down to the tap water. So tap water, and I don't know if you guys could probably pull up a pH meter, on the video at some point. I was getting these a little bit of a stir. So this is the tap water. Tap water legally has to come out of the tap at least at neutral or above. So this is going to be around neutral. So it starts from like the darker purples is going to be super alkaline. And then whenever it goes down to the greens or the blues, it goes from the purples to the blues to the greens to orange and yellow, which is going to be really acidic. So you can see, Dasani, clearly acidic, Aquafina, clearly acidic, and then, the spring water is not necessarily neutral.
I got so mad too. My bad.
Wow. Wow.
I was trying to zoom in and I touched the
And
damn
I'm
screen.
gonna leave it too. I'm gonna leave it in there.
So this is our neutral water right here. The Kangan water actually has the ability to create multiple different types of pH of water, starting with a 2.5, really super acidic. And actually, let me just grab a 2.5 acidic for you so you can see. So you have it can create up from down to 2.5 up to a little over 9.5. Some machines can get up to 11.5 pH. So this is your neutral, and this is your super acidic, the 2.5 pH. You know, you clearly don't want to drink this. Definitely don't want to drink 2.5 pH. And if you can see, you know, this is your acidic water, this is your neutral, and then compared to the Dasani and the Aquafina, that's just, you know.
So let me get this straight. Is your tap water really good? Because it looks like it's better than drinking Dasani.
Right. So the tap water, whenever it comes to acidity, is going to be better than drinking a Dasani and your Aquafina. But whenever it comes to pH, you know, there's other aspects that are involved with the tap water. So the reason why you're getting the tap water at a above neutral pH is because of the chemicals that they have to put in the water. You know, they're putting iodine in the water, they're putting chlorine in the water, just because the water has to travel so far through the pipes, you know, throughout the city, you know, different municipalities and stuff like that in order to even get to the tap. So they're adding different chemicals, you know, that are changing the actual pH of the water. And the interesting thing you can see right here that the Essentia, you know, you might say is, I don't know, might be a little bit more purple than the Kangan water. But
definitely lighter purple.
It does look like a lighter purple, but this one looks like, you know, a little bit more blue. If I had a pH, I would be able to, you know, definitely see for sure. But the most important thing about this is,
Wow.
and this is the Essentia water right here. You know, you're using this, and you're raising you can raise the pH of the water that you're drinking. But if you notice over here, the pH went up a little bit, but it didn't stay up.
Right.
If you notice that. And then whenever you take the Kangan water, you know, you can raise the pH of the water.
Completely.
Wow. I mean, you can't ever say after watching this that water is boring. You know what I mean? Like, just the fact that it's changing colors and whatnot right before our eyes. Like, I'm just like, this is wild.
And this is the power of the Kangan water. You notice that the Essentia, whenever you were able to raise the pH temporarily, but it wasn't a lasting change. And that's the powerful effects of the Kangan water, which, you know, takes me into my next demonstration. So if you give me just a few moments on something, you know, you mentioned talking about, you know, if you're gonna drink soda and drink Kangan water, you might as well not drink Kangan water. And you know that soda tends to be really acidic. It has citric acid in it, which is acidic, and this 2.5 pH is the acidic water.
Okay.
And the effects that it has on Kangan water, it does the same thing. See, and what's interesting about this 2.5 pH is, you definitely don't want to drink 2.5 pH, but whenever you do this with soda, the effect that it has is actually much faster.
Wow. This is the machine. What we're putting the camera on right now. This is the actual Kangan Water machine. And what we can do after the video for anybody that is interested, if that's okay with you, Akko, if we can, well, we are going to share your Instagram, and if we can just invite them to reach out to you if they have any questions, especially because now you're an official distributor for the product. So for anybody who's actually interested in purchasing, because I remember when I was interested, I was searching on different websites and I kept sending them to him like, is this legit? Is this legit? So it's always nice to have, somebody that can really point you in the right direction. You're making sure you're, obviously these things are not cheap. So you want to make sure you're paying for exactly what you're supposed to be getting.
Right. And before we actually move on to that, that next demonstration I wanted to share with you, I told you I was going to talk to you about the difference between alkaline and alkalized.
Right.
So the importance of this, of alkaline and alkalized, to know the difference is alkaline is always going to be a chemical change, and alkalized is going to be an electrical change. So that's the big thing behind this machine, is that you can see that it has okay, that's been I'm trying to get back to the machine. Okay, so it has the different levels of pH. I don't know if you can see that clearly, but you have 8.5 to 9.5 Kangan water. You have a 7.0 pH for clean water, and then you have your 2.5 to 6 pH waters for. You can use the strong acidic for stuff like cleaning. Your 6 pH is beauty water. You can use that for it's kind of like an astringent in a sense. But talking about pH, this machine in particular, it has 5 titanium coated platinum plates, or platinum coated titanium plates. I'm sorry. That the water, as it's flowing through the machine, it's sending a volt of electricity through the water that's actually changing the water molecules. That, number one, is going to affect the pH of the water, and then also restructure the water molecules so that the clusters of waters is actually smaller. And that's what I'm going to show you right now. So I'm just going to get a little bit of tap water, and then I'm going to get a little bit of fresh Kangan water as well.
Yeah, I was really, when the guy explained it to me, and he really tapped into the beauty water. Like you said, you can use it as an astringent, and there's actually salons and spas out there that use Kangan water for their services, and you can see a difference just with the water in itself before you even put it with a product.
Oh wow!
Absolutely. All right, so on the left side, we got the Kangan water, and this is our tap water right here. Sorry, guys, probably gonna have to cut out a lot of the dead space.
No, you're fine. This is our first live presentation, so this is actually super exciting, and it gives us a good idea of how this would go anyway. So
I just have regular old tea bags right here, and this is going to show the effects of the microclustering in the water. I'm just going to dip those in here. I'm going to go both sides on them and let that soak for a little second. And we're going to show, just pay close attention to the water, okay? And remember, we have the Kangan water on the left side of the video. And you can see how quickly the water is able to turn that tea into actual tea. That's the microclustering effects of the water.
wow.
So imagine what that water is doing to your cells. It's able to penetrate those cells, the cell walls, much faster, and deliver nutrients throughout your body much faster than your tap water is able to. And this is one of the, it's delivering all those antioxidants that are also in the water, throughout your body much more quickly. And the really, really, really interesting thing that is so cool about Kangan water is that if you take a little bit of this tea, I'm gonna drip some into both glasses. Do the same thing over here on this side. I'm gonna take you over to the sink.
Oh.
And so on one side, this is again coming fresh out of the machine, with a little bit of tea in there. And that micro clustering allows that to just extract that much more out of the tea in comparison to the tap water. You can see the difference. It just has the ability to extract that much more out of the tea itself. So that's the powerful effects of the micro clustering whenever it comes to Kangan water. And those are both between the pH, the micro clustering, delivering of the nutrients, the antioxidants, those are very powerful portions of the water. But to me, the most powerful thing about the Kangan water is in the antioxidants that it delivers. And
right.
Whenever it comes to antioxidants, there's what's known as oxidation reduction potential. And I don't know if you're familiar with oxidation reduction potential, but it literally, everybody's body goes through oxidative stress. If you know the process of oxidation, it's basically why metal rusts whenever it stays outside for so long, why your bananas get brown whenever you open them, why the apples get brown whenever you, bite into an apple and you leave it out. Everything is going through oxidative stress or through the process of oxidation, and our bodies, medical researchers, doctors, they call it oxidative stress, but it's something that we can't avoid at all. But whenever it comes to ORP, oxidation reduction potential, this Kangan water actually has a negative ORP. And I have an ORP meter that I'm gonna get calibrated up for you guys.
So I think for anybody watching, the main thing to pay attention to, and again, if you, kind of want to learn more about this, like Chynel had mentioned, I mean, you can purchase, the pH, drops so that you can test your water. It's something common. People do that a lot when they have pools. And so, it's something that you can absolutely purchase, just something to kind of test your water, and just realizing, what's super acidic and what's not really benefiting you in the long run, versus what could really benefit you long term. I think at the end of the day, for a lot of people, it's as simple as washing your face with this water. You know what I mean? What I notice is that in certain places when I take a shower, my face gets like super dry after just using, water and soap, you know what I mean? And you often wonder, what that purpose is, or sometimes it'll feel itchy because of the water. So it's just very interesting, and something to look out for. This is something we put in our bodies. I mean, like he said, we are 70% water. So we can't underestimate the value of that. I know we have a lot of soda drinkers on here, that, just can't stand the taste of water. I think I used to be like that when I was a lot younger as well. But the fact of the matter is you definitely need water in your body. That's just it, point blank. So it makes sense to pay attention to this, not to complicate your life. Like, okay, now we got to test our water. You know what I mean? Now there's different types of waters and stuff. I get it. But this is the fact of the matter. This is the reality of the situation. At the end of the day, health is wealth. You know what I mean? We need to know, what's really benefiting us in the long term. So
Exactly. Absolutely. So this is what's known as ORP meter. This has the ability to test the, oxidation reduction potential. Whenever you reading an ORP meter, this goes from the positive numbers to negative numbers as well. And whenever positive numbers mean it has a higher potential for oxidation.
Right.
So lower numbers is going to mean, lower potential for oxidation. And that essentially just means, oxygen that we're taking into our body, the more oxygen that we take in and the more oxygen that we're exposed to, it increases the levels of oxidation that's happening inside the body. What that's going to cause is it's going to cause the formation of free radicals, and free radicals are really what cause oxidative stress.
Okay.
Free radicals is basically just it's a atom that has lost an electron, and so they're going throughout the body, and they're just taking electrons from other atoms in order to balance themselves out. And whenever that happens, it causes, obviously everything has to have imbalance in the body, because it's taking electrons away. So whenever you're thinking of oxidation, is the loss of electrons, and reduction, whenever you're talking about oxidation reduction potential, that means that it has the ability to gain electrons because it's giving electrons. That's when you think about antioxidants, it's anti-oxidation. It has those extra electrons to give off to the free radicals in order to balance itself out. So that's why it's super important to have, to be replenishing your body all the time with antioxidants, to be able to, antioxidants are they're the fighting force for your immune system, essentially, along with lymphatic system and stuff like that. But, that's
Gotcha.
for another day. But so this is on the far left side where the probe is in right now. This is just vinegar water, or not vinegar water. This is just straight distilled vinegar. You can see the ORP of this is very, very high, and we'll just go through and we'll see the different.
Can I see the numbers?
ORP. Can you see the numbers on there clearly?
Yeah. If you zoom in, like once you turn to it and you zoom in, you can see it. Like the last one was like 31.5 or something like that. Yeah, 2.46, 2.44. It's going down. Or 242. Yeah.
Okay, and it goes back up whenever you put it back into the.
Oh wow.
This is just the straight distilled vinegar, spring water.
Okay.
And then we'll look at the essentia. So
Oh wow.
it's going down.
And it's pretty on point too. It's like you don't really have to wait for it to go down or anything. It's shooting down fairly quickly as soon as you hop from each different type of thing.
Mm-hmm. And this is a fairly old probe. You're honestly supposed to switch these out much more often, but I don't really sell Conga machines, so I don't do this demonstration often. But
sure.
So I don't really, spend a lot of money on buying new probes and stuff like that. But I'm gonna go get some. I'll take you over to the sink and we'll get some fresh Kangan water. So you can see none of these waters are, obviously, better than drinking straight up distilled vinegar, of course.
They don't do it.
Right. What time soon?
Every now and then some people they take, shots of vinegar, stuff like that, apple cider vinegar.
Yeah, that's true. So do you recommend them not doing that? Because I know a few people who actually do that.
I'm not a nutritionist or anything like that, so I won't make any recommendations or anything like that. But
okay.
We'll see the Kangan water, where we can get with the Kangan water.
Oh wow.
I don't know if you can see those numbers clearly.
Yeah, move it over to the right just a bit. There we go. Yeah. That's perfect. Wow.
So we're getting down lower and lower.
And I did this test yesterday, and I was actually able to. I don't know if we'll get down there today, but I was actually able to get to negative 130 with
Wow.
with the Kangan water, and it takes a little while, coming from the the higher ORP numbers, but based on the manual of this Milwaukee ORP meter, anything that is a negative 50 or beyond is considered medical grade water.
Wow. Medical
And
grade
it's
water.
still going down a little bit. So this
That
to
exists.
me, and it's still going down. You can see, I can take it all the way down to, like I said, I got to a negative 130. But and we'll take it back to the Essentia, because that's what people are comparing this to.
Sure.
And you see it's crawling back
So
up.
now this hopping out of the negatives, going back into a buildup.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so for me, whenever it comes to why are you choosing Kangen water? Why are you choosing Kangen water over your bottled alkaline waters? Why are you choosing Kangen water over your bottled spring water? And the ORP, oxidation reduction potential, is the most important thing for me. There's nothing, absolutely nothing that we can do in order to stop the process of oxidative stress in our bodies. Those free radicals, they're always going to be there. It's just one of those, love-hate relationships. We need oxygen,
Right.
but it's also killing us at the same time. So for me, having this water, being able to replenish my body with those antioxidants, with something that you already need on a daily basis, is just phenomenal. You can eat all the blueberries, you can eat all eat all the blueberries, you know what I mean, those high in antioxidants,
Sure.
dandelion, you can name all the foods that are super high in antioxidants, but you're never going to get the amount of antioxidants that you get in just 1 8-ounce glass of Kangen water that you will from eating like a gallon of blueberries. So for me, that's why this water is so powerful, because you're literally giving your body what it needs in order to fight off those free radicals, allowing your body to have enough fight left in it to use its natural antioxidants, which are the most powerful. I don't know if you guys are familiar with glutathione, but glutathione is the master antioxidant. That's what they call it. It's the master antioxidant. It's actually produced within the cells of our body. It's the only antioxidant that's produced within the cells. And so whenever you're putting in other antioxidants, like Kangen water, like your blueberries, like your dandelion, you're allowing your body to not rely on itself so much, for the recycling of these free radicals in the body. So you're increasing your first line of defense, essentially. That's why you eat antioxidants. That's why you want to put antioxidants in your body. It's your first line of defense against free radicals. So whenever you have something like Kangen water and you're just really increase that first line of defense, now your body's able to do those natural processes on their own, with ease, essentially. So that's why I believe in Kangen water so much. It's one of the most powerful waters out there. You're not going to get it from I don't know of any other water ionizer on the market. Once I found Kangen water, honestly, I didn't find any other reason to look for any other water ionizers. I just really believed in the company. It's 40 years old. It started with the guy who started it. I believe his last Oshira, I believe his name is. They started out just selling Conga machines to the hospitals in Japan, and he wanted to mimic the water that that he found in the Himalayan mountains that he found was very healing to the people that were water. And that's how he actually designed the Conga machine, was around that water in the Himalayan mountains that he was finding. And they realized once they studied the water was because it was so high in the mountains, it's close. Whenever there was storms, the lakes that are high in the mountains, they're actually getting struck by lightning, and it's restructuring the water molecules. And that's how he got that idea of, send the electricity through the water, restructure the water molecules, increase those antioxidants, increase the ORP. And, so that's how he initially got started with the Kangan water.
I because that was like an aha moment, because I was getting to that question with you. I've had this conversation with other people when I was trying to explain to them, like, oh, like I started drinking Kangan water, and you got the people who are like, see, we're always trying to do something to something. You know what I mean? Like now we're running electricity through water and we're drinking it. We're doing this, we're doing that. Like, why can't we just take everything in its most natural form? And
Absolutely.
The first thing I would say to them was like, what turned me on, but what put me on to the Kangen was the ability of the microclusters to clear you out, to clean you out.
Mm-hmm.
Like regular water might it's just going to pass through you. It doesn't have any extra oomph in it to be able to detox you, right? It's not going to flush you. When you go years eating fats, years of eating all types of sugar, you get this buildup of mucus along your lining. And what's going to break that down? We can do a detox as, trying to be health conscious and fitness and stuff like that. And we might do it for a week or two, but that's not going to clear up 30 years of eating wrong your whole life. And you don't even know what you're putting in your body. So that was like how the guy put it to me. That's what those microclusters are doing. It's breaking those things down against that mucus lining to really clear you out, which is why people use this water sometimes as a detox. And they may experience a lot of, urination or a lot of number twos when they first start drinking it. And then also, the higher you take the pH, the more it's going to affect the detox process. Is that true?
Yeah, well, they do recommend to not drink over the 9.5 pH. So like this machine can create, I think the highest is like 10 and a half. I don't experiment with those waters. They say that you can use them in like small doses. The more expensive, the machines that have they have more titanium plates in it. This one has 5. They make a machine that has 8. It can create like up to an 11.5, which you can, use as an emulsifier. And this one does it as well, just not as powerful as that one. So, people use the emulsifier for, getting the pesticides and stuff off of their food.
Right.
Actually mix with, and most oil based, so they definitely, I always rinse my vegetables and stuff, fruits and vegetables, with the water to help get off most of that oil. But back to the cleansing part that you were talking about, the doctor that invented the colonoscopy, I don't remember his name right now, but he actually prescribes his patients 3 quarts of Kangan water every day for 3 months before he decides if he's actually going to proceed with any type of surgery whenever somebody comes to him with the need of potentially doing a colonoscopy. And that always, you can look up a video on YouTube, and the transformation of before the Kangan water to the 3-month mark of them drinking 3 quarts of Kangan water every single day, it's just night and day. It absolutely has a beneficial effect on your colon of, cleaning it out, getting all of that, debris that is left over in there from, all the, years of bad eating and stuff like that.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, I mean, you got right to it. And then like bringing it back to, the person who invented the Kangen machine, he was just like you said, mimicking the Himalayan mountain water that was being electrocuted and electrolyzed anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And having
not
benefits.
everybody has access to that water, not every, like, Like if you have access to a spring, by all means, drink your spring water. You know what I mean? But not everybody has access to a fresh spring. Spring water right at the source, spring water in a bottle. Two totally different things. You know what I mean? Not only are we, contributing to the, destruction of the ocean from all the plastic going into the ocean and stuff like that. And now doctors are claiming they're finding particulates of plastic in plastic bottles. But, so if you have access to a spring, drink water right from a spring. If you have access to the Himalayan mountains with water that has been restructured by lightning strikes, absolutely drink that water over the Kangan water. But he designed the machine so that everybody has access to the health benefits of drinking the Himalayan water right within their own homes. And I think that, it was a very powerful thing for him to do. All of these machines are pretty much standard in the hospitals over in Japan. I don't know personally, but apparently the Japanese, they've been knowing what they're doing. They have the longest life expectancy on the planet, already. And, I can guarantee that Kangan water has definitely helped attributed to, that longevity.
And I do have a question. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. All right. I have two questions. So the first one is, you mentioned that obviously this is a machine at the end of the day. And I think when people think about, drinking water and then it going through a machine of sorts, some people might get a little wary of that. What is something that you could say to actually ease their minds in a sense?
For me personally, I'm all about doing stuff right from the source. Like, I don't even eat Impossible Burgers or Beyond Meat just because I'm like, I just want to go right to the source. If I want to eat something for the nutrients, I want to go right to the source. And you just don't have the ability to have a machine that is, it has the ability to remove chlorine from your water. It has the ability to remove, fluoride from your water. It has the ability to, the changing the pH without having your body having to now process all the extra chemicals that were added to the water to affect the pH. Because, you can drink the Essentia but now your body has to process all of those other chemicals that were put into the water. You know what I mean? So you're drinking water that your body doesn't have to do something extra in order to process it. I don't know. I don't, again, I'm not trying to sell anybody anything, but you're not going to find a water that does all of these things. And this is just talking about the drinking aspect of it. Of course, the water does other things that are, very useful. But I don't know, you're just not going to find, another water that has the ability to do that.
And you're not going to find anything better, basically, I think. And I get that. And I think, because naturally when new things come about and, they're, like I said, with water, it's kind of like, isn't it enough that I'm already drinking water, but now I got to worry about pH levels and this and that. I just find that maybe we have a viewer or so that might think something like that. But I think it's very true to what you're saying. Obviously, if we could get it from the source, and we could just walk to the Himalayan mountains and grab it right out of there, we would do it. But that's clearly not something that we can do. And so that's where this machine makes it possible, like you said.
And for anybody that's feeling skeptical like I was, like it took me up to a year in order to make this purchase, not only for the financial reasons, but also just the skepticism of, is this water actually better for me than just than a tap water or a bottled water? And I would just recommend just really doing the research into the three things that we covered in the video: the pH, how a higher pH has an effect on the body. At pretty much every doctor nowadays is going to tell you that disease can't survive in an alkaline environment. Look to the microclustering, the effects that it's going to have on the nutrients that you're taking. We have a lot of people that are big into health. All the protein shakes that you're taking, all of the nutritional whole food supplements rather than synthetic supplements, but all the supplements that you're taking, being able to deliver those nutrients more effectively throughout your body. I think that's ultimately what everybody wants. And then whenever you're talking about the antioxidants, being able to really reduce that, the process of oxidation that is naturally happening within everybody, do the research on those things, get educated on it. That's what ultimately led to me making that purchase. Was I started getting educated on all of those things. Really started to understand the benefits of it. And, once I understood it for myself rather than somebody just giving me the information, that's when I knew I was making an educated purchase, into investing into one of these machines.
Absolutely.
And then going into that, following up, I'm sure there's people saying, well, how do I get this water? Like if I choose not to purchase a machine, because the machines are not cheap, it is an investment. How do I get my hands on this water? It's not in the grocery stores. It's not at the corner stores. It's not, you have to go, from what I've learned, you'd have to go to somebody who either has the machine or you have to get it from a distributor. And a lot of businesses in Virginia Beach have purchased the machine and sell the water through their company. And they're able to make a profit off of that. So what would your recommendation be for people who just are in the city, just don't know where to go? How do they find a distributor for the Kangan water?
If you want to find a distributor, I don't know too many people that are just, selling water by the gallon of, their Kangen machines.
I know a lot of people. I know like 5.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
That's
Well,
crazy.
I've never tried to sell. I've never really sold the Kangen water. That's not why I really got the machine. But I would look for Facebook groups. I live in Tampa.
Yeah.
Anybody, if you guys are interested in, trying out some Kangen water, stuff like that, I'm absolutely willing to, give some gallons, stuff like that. But as far as the cost of Kangen water goes, people don't. The way that I like to make purchases is, number one, I'm investing into my health, and then number two, the investment that I'm going to make on something like this is what's the return on investment that you're going to get over a lifetime of use. You have to think about, it's not just you're buying something for right now. You're buying something that's going to last you 10 to 15 years. Most people get 15-year use out of these machines. Some people get more than 15-year use out of these machines. And whenever you think of
Before I forget, so sorry.
No.
Good question. When you get the Kangen water and you put it in your cup, from the time it's in your cup, how quickly do you have to drink it to get the full nutrients of the microclusters?
Okay, so for the microclustering is one of those, it's better, the fresher it is, the better it is. So for me, I like to, first thing that I do when I wake up in the morning is, I fill up my water bottle. It's like 26 ounces of water. I run it slow so that those antioxidants are high. And I see all the bubbles throughout the water and everything like that. So the fresher it is, the better it is. But the water will last for up to 48 hours with, full benefits.
Wow.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Go ahead. Back.
But whenever you're thinking about the cost of it, my machine wasn't as expensive as the flagship machine. That's the machine that has the 8 platinum coated titanium. So if we look at the cost of that flagship machine, and then the cost of what it costs to for filters and stuff like that, because with this machine, like most water filters, you have to actually purchase a filter. You're looking at $1.69 a day. I did the calculations for it. $1.69 for water, and this is out of a 15-year use of the machine. So to me, $1.69 a day for some water, everybody's gonna spend that on Starbucks. Everybody's gonna spend that on whatever other drinks that you're drinking on a daily basis. You know what I mean? You're spending at least $5-6 at Starbucks on a daily basis.
That's what kills me about when people just say like the wildest things. Like, you guys are questioning things that are you have no issue spending $20 on fast food,
On
food
fast,
that you have
yeah.
no idea what's in this. But when it comes down to something that you're being fully educated on for you to even do your own research and follow up and validate, you still are going to question it.
Right.
And that's the thing, most people, it like I said, even for me, it took time to really understand the benefits because I was just relying on the information that people were telling me. Whenever you think about fast food, they're not claiming any nutritional benefits to fast food or anything. So
They're
we're like,
claiming
oh, we'll just, we'll just go eat the fast food or whatever. But, so, and it takes time whenever you're making a purchase. For me personally, anything that I'm going to buy that's over $200, I really take time. It takes me at least a week to make a purchase that's, more than $200 or something like that. So, it took me almost a year to make this purchase of the Conga machine, but it was absolutely, hands down, one of the best purchases that I've made in the last couple of years. For
So
sure.
how much does it cost? I mean, everybody wants to know how much do these machines cost? They are varying in price, I know, but the machine that you bought, let's just start with the machine that you bought.
So
how much is your machine cost?
Machine that I have is the Level Look Junior 2. It has the 5 plates in it. And that one is just over $2,300. Just a little over $2,300. But the company, there's wonderful financing options. If your credit is really good, zero down, $50 a month for, people that have really good credit. For me, I didn't have good credit at the time. I was building credit. So I put about $700 down on the machine. And then, I did a monthly payment, which was, very affordable. I paid it off in 2 years, I believe. And it wasn't bad at all, and again, it's something that you're investing into over a 15-year period. So that's how you want to think about it. Less than $2 a day, including filters. Most people, they don't factor in the price of the filters, but less than $2 a day, including the filters. I think it's absolutely worth the purchase. Not to mention, there is absolutely no price that you can put on your life.
Right.
Simply.
Period. Period. It's so easy to get wide-eyed over that statement. I currently, my part-time day job, I work in the medical field, and, we see patients, and, it's a similar thing where it's a very holistic in a lot of ways and things of that nature. And people are skeptical a lot of the times. And it's like, look, you're about to spend $2,500 on the Louis bag that you definitely don't need because you can't go anywhere right now, but you're not going to invest it in. You can't show it off. Nobody cares. Let's be clear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you refuse to invest that, less than that on your body, the main thing. You know what I mean? You want to show out. You got to make sure you look good, you feel good. You know what I mean? It's not enough just to have this bag on your arm if you're looking crazy, like you're sick and everything all the time, or whatever the case may be. I think if you look at it, and realistically, we should look at everything from that perspective, honestly. Like I get, sometimes there's things that you just want, material things that, you feel like you've been working hard for, whatever. Go ahead. I'm not knocking you, but at the end of the day, health is the real wealth. We all know this. I mean, especially now, I'm not gonna lie, our generations have really been changing the game in that way. I will say, just because we're so much more educated. I mean, your breakdown, just everything that you just said over the past hour or so was super knowledgeable. You know what I mean? Like things that literally none of us knew to the full extent of what you know. And that's so important because, like you said, research is so important. And, anything over a certain amount, you should be taking time and not just being like, oh, put it in the bag, let's get it. You should be taking time doing your research, really understanding the benefits of that, which I think we could do more of that. And, it's just so important because, again, this is your body. I mean, this is the only body you have. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Like you can't just pull the 100. I don't know if anybody watches the 100 around here, but there's a whole season where they're like transferring bodies into other bodies. We can't do that. That's not a thing that we're doing right now. Right. So, this is all we have, and we have to treat, this is our temple. You know what I mean? However you want to look at it, religious, non-religious, this is it. This is literally it. So take a look, You know what I mean? And think little things, you know what I mean? That might seem like a lot in price, but and again, it lasts you 15 years. You know what I mean? Maybe longer if you really take care of it. And just the benefits in general. I mean, if you're looking at when you put the camera onto the machine, I mean, there's a button for beauty, you know, for care. You know what I mean? Like, you don't, these are things that you think about. You know what I mean? There's a lot of you out there I know that are washing their face and you're feeling itchy, you're feeling dry. Let's be clear. You know what I mean? You're feeling the differences in the water. And I know that. And you know, you have this product here that's really going to change, you know, if not your entire life, not to, you know, not to be super dramatic, but like, you know, your daily routine. This is going to set off a lot of things. And it might, you know, it's just going to make you feel good in general. You're going to feel fresh face. You're going to feel real good. You know what I mean? You're going to know you're putting something in your body that's genuinely benefiting you. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And we really need to start paying attention to that. And I think we're doing a really good job. I am seeing a lot of people that are really focusing on their health and just trying to get back right with themselves. And that's a beautiful thing. And again, you know, just pointing out the positives of this COVID-19, I think a lot of people are really taking initiative in that way. You know, now's the time to get right with myself. You know what I mean? Mentally, physically, emotionally. And this is just another, you know, a key component to it. So, you know, take that time, whatever it may be, like he said, financing options. You know, it's cheaper than buying a car. You know what I mean? And the car ain't going to do you nothing. If anything, it's costing you more. So, you know, to have it. So, you know, just things to think about. But I appreciate that. And I will say the other question that I had, I know you know, you're not a nutritionist, you know, and I get that. What are your thoughts on sparkling water? I have this question because I am such a sparkling water drinker. I don't drink soda. And I drink a lot of water besides when I drink alcohol. But I somewhat recently got into sparkling water, and it is like a nice little alternative, I guess, when you want that little bit of fizz or something, I don't know, or that little bit of flavor. So what are your thoughts on that?
Shoot it down.
I don't really know much about sparkling water. I'm not big on the whole fizzy situation. It just makes my throat hurt. So I don't know. If as long as there's no, you know, look at the ingredients. As long as there's no, you know, acid in it or anything like that, I think that, you know, you're going to be fine. But, you know, if you want to flavor water, you know, just flavor it with some fruits or something like that. You know, you're all good to go.
It's funny because like I always get on like certain family members because they drink diet soda all the time, which is worse than regular soda. No, like it blows my mind. And I'm just like, you need to stop drinking this. You need to stop drinking this. Well, you're drinking diet soda. That's probably why you feel like this, you know? And I'm always getting on them. And then recently I was just like, you know, but this sparkling water probably really isn't that great either. Now that I'm thinking about it. Now it says zero this, zero that. And that's really the selling point here, is because there is nothing in it. But at the same time, you really tasting like watermelon while I'm drinking you. And I'm trying to understand how, if it's just water, how is this happening? So I've recently been thinking about it, like, what's going on? Like, what's really going on? So I just wanted somebody's opinion on it.
Yeah, no, I don't know too much. I don't know too much about a lot of things. So, you know, that's one of those things I'm not really, I don't know. It's just not something that I drink. For a little while, I got into the whole, the flavored water arena, but then, you know, I don't know. Once I got the Kangan water, I was like, you know, there's no really other reason to drink anything else. Not that I don't, you know, drink juice or anything like that. You know, I drink my juice, you know, and stuff like that. But, you know, for the most part, Kangen water, drinking teas, you know, stuff like that.
Right. Okay. Cool. Anything else for you, Chynel?
Appreciate you for coming on here and explaining and breaking down furthermore for the people who have not seen a presentation on the Kangan water. That's like, even if you don't agree with what it is and how it works or whatever the case may be, it's just a form of education that you need to know is there. And you know, one of the biggest things, and it is a selling point for those who sell the machine, but the whole free radical thing and cancer and sickness and all of that, that is real. That's science, and that is real, and that links directly to our illnesses and our sicknesses that we face every day. And there's a lot of things that we can't change just because it's in our environment. So you have to start making these certain types of decisions on what you're purchasing to help combat those, right?
Right.
But yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, our blog is to educate and support and push things that we think others need education on, and just to get out there. And this is important. Kangan is something that is very much so alive in our cities, and we don't even know it yet. It's usually like just a network of people who are in it, and they don't push it. They're real, like Komar is. He's just that he's doing this for him, not to do it to sell. So, you'll be surprised when you look for these people. They're actually out there. There's a lot of them who are willing to give you this type.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I appreciate you. You know what I mean? Like I said, it was like maybe 2 years ago at this point when I came out there, and you put me onto this. And I remember because I was a Dasani person, and then he showed me, and I was just like, damn. Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, Dasani used to be my thing back in the day too. Dasani, and then mostly any type of spring water, that was bottled. I was onto the bottled spring water and stuff like that. But and then the smart water whenever I don't have my Kangan water available. But it's one thing. I appreciate you guys having me on. For sure. It's definitely been wonderful to spread the knowledge, the little bit that I do have. And one thing I want to say, for everybody that's, following your channel is, whenever it comes to health, and like you're saying, Ronai, health is really wealth. A lot of people, they ask me, why do you take the time to, do all of this stuff? And, why are you eating plant-based? And, why are you drinking the Kangan water, stuff like that? And the thing that everybody has to really pay attention to is the fact that we're giving the opportunity to change our bodies at the cellular level at every single moment. Our skin is always renewing itself. Our organs renew themselves every, I believe, 5 to 7 years. Our bones renew themselves every 10 years. And it's all dependent upon the things that we put inside of our bodies. So, right now is the time to really start planning for, 5 to 10 years from now for how we really want our bodies to feel. And, whenever, health is wealth, what is the quality of life that you're going to have at 60 years old, at 70, 80, 90 years old in comparison to, and not to compare for the sake of, this way is better than the other. It's just, what is the quality of life that you want to have compared to somebody that doesn't care about the things that they put into their body? They're eating a high meat diet, with very little vegetables, not drinking much water. Do you want to be, stuck in the wheelchair, can't really move on your own? Or do you want to, still have that life force, that energy that we're getting from, all these electrical foods, the electrical water? Do you want to have the ability to get up and, do stuff with your grandkids, have a good time with your kids, for, a good portion of your life, and that's the most important thing to me, is when I'm 70, 80, 90, 120 years old, hopefully.
Right. I don't even want to live that long.
Yeah, what's the quality of life that you're going to have at that age? So that's the thing that everybody needs to, take into consideration whenever you're talking about, things that you're putting into your body.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again so much. I really appreciate it. Great presentation. This was our first presentation, so congratulations on that. And we have, and moving forward, me and Chynel have been talking a lot about just how we're literally moving forward with this blog and the things that we're putting together. So, we're definitely reaching out to you in the near future, with different things that we would like to put together. We would like you to be a part of. But in the meantime, thank you so much for joining. I really do appreciate it so much. And for everybody listening, we usually do, we'll have his information at the end, feel free to contact if for anything else, just to have that conversation. You know what I mean? As you can see, like I said, very dope soul, very humbled in a lot of ways. And so, we just appreciate that conversation on here. So thank you so much.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, well, this is Ronai with Anomaly the Agency, and
that was Chapter 28 Beauty, and definitely thanking our guest here, Komar, with the Kangan Water machine presentation. Definitely very educational, and we will have his information down below.